Hi, so I'm gonna set up Node.js along with the Express framework using Express generator to populate the scaffolding for me, and choose the Nunjucks template, and then eventually deploy it to AWS with the serverless framework. So basically it's just going to be a hello world. So what's already installed is link, screen, and Python 3 pip. So we also set up AWS CLI with the configuration for deploying already, the credentials. So now we're just gonna set up our node environment. So for that we're gonna do pip install node env. So basically node env is just like virtual env. Allows you to pretty much choose the node version you would like to set up, just the same way for Python and virtual env. Alright, so now we're gonna pretty much create the environment for ourselves. Okay. So the binary is stored here. And then we're just gonna call this virtual environment virtual or vnode 1. So it's going to install node version 961 for us. Alright, so now we're just going to activate that environment. Alright, so now we're in that environment with vnode 1, so now we can run node version to see what version we're running. And then we're also gonna be able to run npm to see what version we're running of npm. Okay, and now we're just gonna install npm install Express generator in the global scope. Basically, this helps us build the scaffolding. Does most of the work. It creates the templates. It creates the templates for Pug, but not for Nunjucks that we're creating. So now we're able to run Express view chunks my Express app. Alright, so I created all those, and now we're gonna cd to my Express app. And now we're also gonna install Nunjucks along with AWS Serverless Express module. This part is for later on. We're gonna use that so that we can deploy it into Lambda, and we're also gonna use -save, so it's also gonna put it in our package.json file. Alright, let's see what we have. So we have our basic app.js and our routes, our views folder set up already, our node module. So let's check a look at package.json. So here it includes our AWS Serverless Express, which you're going to use later on. All of this is pretty much comes pre-bundled with Express, and then our Nunjucks. And when we're gonna run npm start, it's gonna run this command here, basically. Alright, so now we're just gonna edit here. We're gonna include that module. Oops. Alright, now once that's done, we're just gonna do this. Configure. So this part is given to us in the Nunjucks tutorial. So basically, let's see. This includes the file, and then we're told to set it up for the views, so it could be used by the Express app. And the view part is where the template's going, and this is telling us we're going to use the Nunjucks template engine. So when we go to the home page, which is here, it's going to tell us to go to this index, which is up here. It's going to use these routes. It's going to go to those routes and check what's there, and then it's going to also render our templates from there. So let's go check it out. So vi routes index. So basically, when we go to our home page, we're gonna render index with these variables. But first, we just have to actually change this because we're gonna use that HTML, right? And then we're gonna go to views, which is empty for us right now, and then we're just gonna set up index.html. So this is just basic HTML. And this is a Nunchuck variable, which was given title in the template. Let's see. Oops. Body. So we're just gonna type welcome to title, which is Express, which is going to be substituted in world. So basically, it's going to pass in the variable, or actually it's going to use this or substitute this variable title with the words Express. So it's going to say also welcome to Express world. So we're going to go back to our routes, which is what renders it or passes it in. So when it is going to use that template that was just created with this title and with this variable Express for us. Okay, so now we're just gonna install all our packages to make sure we have all our items. Okay, so we're gonna do npm start to start up the website. Alright, so the server started. So now create a new screen, and I'm gonna do link HTTP localhost port 3000, and it says welcome to Express World. Okay, so as we can see here, it goes to the home page, using a GET request, and then it responds back with the successful 200. Alright, so now that that's done, we're just gonna put this into AWS using Lambda. First, we're gonna have to install the serverless framework globally. So the serverless framework pretty much does all the heavy lifting, all uses templates, and without you ever having to pretty much visit AWS's website. Almost uses everything command line. You build out the templates, which we're gonna do in a few. Okay, so we're gonna type in SLS, which is the same as running the serverless command. Basically, SLS is like a soft link to serverless, and then we're gonna create template AWS using we plan to use Node.js Lambda function. We're gonna call it my serverless app, and it's just basically gonna create the, two files, handler.js and serverless.yaml. You can create it yourself manually without using these templates. And we're gonna check it out. So it created handler.js and serverless.yaml. First we're rename handler.js to lambda.js. No particular reason, just that on the website, just to keep consistency on the AWS Serverless Express, they call it Lambda. Move everything. This is the module was downloaded earlier, and this is where it comes into place, so we don't have to do it now. And we're gonna rename it so that when Lambda points here, we're gonna call it my hello world. This function. Okay, so now we're gonna edit out the serverless YAML. The service, we call it my serverless app. We're gonna use AWS, and we're gonna use the Node JS. You can also select to run Python if you want to for the Lambda function. And here, this function, we're gonna call it my hello world function. And since we changed the handler file to lambda.js, we're gonna switch this to lambda dot. And since we called it my hello world, we're gonna also change it to my hello world. And then that's the action that's pretty much gonna take when we trigger the event. With these endpoints in AWS API gateway, pretty much. So okay, so we're gonna run deploy. So when we run this command, it's gonna pretty much take our whole package and put it into S3 and then run the CloudFormation to deploy it to whatever we need or we requested. So basically our AWS infrastructure is being created as we speak. And if we're successful, we should be able to see my hello world in the internet, on the internet, not just locally on our computer or server. So Alright, so these are our endpoints. So if we run this, we should be able to visit my Express Hello World. See? Welcome to Express World. And if we quit, we're gonna keep on going to, let's go there again. Welcome to Express World. Alright, so now that it's up on the internet, we're also gonna tear down our infrastructure. So we run SLS remove. Let's say if you edited the app, you change something, you can always just type in SLS deploy again, and it'll go right up, basically. So actually, let's do that. So let's just change something simple. Let's just change what it says. Welcome to hello. Let's deploy. So it's gonna repackage it, put it into S3, and then configure all the settings for you. Okay, so we go, actually we can go up. Same website. Welcome to Hello World. Pretty cool. So now we're gonna destroy the resources we create with SLS remove, and it's gonna tear it down. So it's no longer on the internet. So it's pretty much cleaning up after itself, and that's it. We created a simple Hello World Express on a server, and we also uploaded it onto the internet using AWS Serverless framework. Pretty cool.